Hey YouTube land, Tycron there doing another action figure review. Now, before I proceed, I just need to say that these reviews are intended for collectors over the age of 13 to abide by FTC and COPA rules. And if I'm not mistaken, these figures are possibly intended for collectors of 17 up anyway, or 14 up to 15. And what these are the G.M.G. or Gundam Military Generation, made by the company Megahouse. And this is the Earth Federation Space Force, or EFSF, soldiers. And I have done a review of the previous set, which I will bring in the box for one of them now, just so you can see the boxes. So this is the box for the Zeon soldier. As you can see, it's number 1. G.M.G. number 1 Zeon soldier. And you have the Z for the Zeon fraction, and it has the Zeon logo, and it has green, which is kind of a similar green to how the uniforms are, and how the kind of the Mobil suits generally tend to be kind of green militaristic colors. And moving to the box for these guys, because I have not 1, not 2, but 3 of these figures to review. So each wave consists of 3 figures. There's 2 ways of getting these figures. There's individually getting these figures, like the way I have. I got them individual. But there is also a set, I think it's a box set with all 3 figures. And the box sets come with additional heads and I think a few extra accessories. I do have one of those sets pre-ordered on Big Bad Toy Store. It hasn't come out in there yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the pre-order for it. I might drop the pre-order. The only difference is the extra heads. I really do like these sets, but they are quite pricey. Now, I picked these ones up from good folks over at Hobby Link Japan. Where I live in Ireland, these worked out at €30 each, or €32 each. So they're already quite pricey for a 4-inch or 1/18 scale figure. Most 1/18 scale figures tend to be around, although actually saying that, the Joy Toy stuff and the Haya Toys does tend to be in the 25 to 30 bracket, so I suppose they're not too overpriced. But when you think about that, there's only 3 figures in the set compared to stuff like Joy Toy, where they do like 5 figure sets for like $80. The price point doesn't really add up. So the box themselves has blue instead of green. It has the Earth Federation symbol, or the Earth Federation logo as well, and E for Earth Federation. GMG1 is the kind of basic male soldier. So each set consists of 2 male characters and 1 female character. They are doing a Zeon space set as well, which is slated to release, I think, August. And they come with a female male spacesuit or pilot suit, and they come with Char's Annabelle. And as far as I know, there is going to be a Federation version of that set, and the Federation version of the set will come with a Muro Ray. Well, the speculation is they'll come with a male-female Federation spacesuit, and a Muro Ray will be the 3rd figure in the wave, as Char is the 3rd figure in the Zeon set. So the boxes are all pretty similar. You get to see stuff that you get in the box. So for this particular soldier, you get a poncho, you get web gear, you get 2 pouches, a pistol pouch. The pistol pouch doesn't, or the holster for the pistol doesn't actually work. You get a pistol holster and a pistol. You get a rifle, you get a bazooka with this one. You get this red thing, which I think is supposed to be the shell for the bazooka. And then you get these accessories. You get like a drink, and you get MREs. So you get military rations. You get 3 cans. One is opened, one is sort of half opened with the lid on it, one is fully open with a spoon in it. The spoon is part of the sculpt, which you will see when I get to the figures, and then there's an unopened one. So Moving quickly along to the other boxes, all the boxes are the same. So on the side you have an image of the figure that's in the box. On the top you have the G.M.G logo, all the legalese stuff, and then you have a color image of the figures on the side with the numbering for each figure. Onto number 2, if I quickly rotate around. So you get quite similar stuff. You get a backpack with this one. He's a slightly larger, more robust character. You get 2 head sculpts with each figure. You get the same rifle, same pistol. You get books with this one. You get a what looks like another sort of bazooka, kind of like a folded mortar launcher type thing, and you get something like a rocket with it. And then onto the last one, which is the female figure. You get again 2 head sculpts. You get it's almost like a dumpster fire, but it's supposed to simulate like a fire in an old can that you can do a rest and relaxation kind of pose. That's on the boxes. If I just bring the box in there, you can see they're kind of all sitting around a campfire. You also get this cool looking shell. Again, similar, 2 pouches, harness. All the harnesses, pouches, and this kind of shoulder strap are the same. You get binoculars and a flash grenade with this. Same 2 pistol and rifle combination. And you also get a jetpack. So that is it for the boxes. We'll get the figures all set up and we'll get into the figures. Okay folks, moving quickly onto the figures themselves. And there is quite a lot of accessories and stuff to get through. So here are the figures themselves. And I'll just go through rundown. So not only with the figures you get the accessories that I mentioned on the box, you also get a plethora of extra hands. So there is sets of trigger finger hands for all 3 figures. Now the difference is you get 4 sets of trigger finger hands. You get, or sorry, 2 sets each for left and right. And the difference is you get left hand, sorry, I managed to cut my hand or wrist. So you have left hand goes up, down, and then you have left and right that goes up and down with a trigger finger, which is these. This is the one for the female character. You can tell the difference because the female character has painted skin tone on her hands compared to the male characters. The male characters ones are cast in the skin tone. So you have, this is the right female one. If you can see that there, you can see the hinge. It goes up and down. And this is the left one. You have an in and out. And then you have a corresponding, if I just get it there, you have a corresponding left, up and down. And she has the in and out right one on her hand at the moment. Now when you do get these, I should point out that they do come with, is that her ones? No. Oh yeah, I've swapped it out. So you have these closed fists. Sorry if you can't really see that. You get these closed fists are the default hands that are in the boxes. So that's on all the characters. They're defaulted with the closed fist, but you get hands for all of them. You also get a grip or an outstretched hand for holding stuff, and only has a hinge up and down. There's no alternate in and out for that one. It's just an up and down hinge on that one hand. And you get, as I said, 2 closed fists, and closed fists have the hinge in and out as well, as opposed to, so they go in out as opposed to up and down. So you have that. With the guy with the poncho, you get, let me just double check I get the right accessories for the right people. Oh yeah, so I'll start with the female one first. So the female one comes with this big shell. Now I believe this is supposed to be a shell either off the gun tank or the cannon, the gun cannon. Sorry, the GM cannon. I don't think it's supposed to be the whatchamacallit shell, the Gundam's shell, because I don't remember the Gundam using any shell weaponry except for the bazooka, which wouldn't have used shells like this. I think this is supposed to be more from the gun cannon or the gun tank. She also came with these binoculars, which she can hold in her hands. The hands are a kind of gummy rubbery type thing, so they can stretch out a bit. She does come with one of these rifles. She also comes with one of these pistols. She comes with this, what I think is a flash grenade. It looks like a flash grenade because it has a little thing at the bottom for the kind of vents where the flash comes out of. She comes with one of these harnesses. Now, I believe they're all the same. Let me just double check on that. Actually, it's not quite right. These two, you get two similar ones for both her and the normal size male, but the more portly one you get is slightly wider one for the portly guy. And where the both male characters have these little packs that will plug into the back of the thing. There's a little plug that just plugs into like that, so you can plug those in. She doesn't come with one of those. She comes with this jetpack piece instead, and the way it plugs in, it only goes in one way, so there's a way it's supposed to sit on it, so it sits this way, and it has thrusters on it. They use these a bit in the show. I remember seeing them used, but not too often. She also comes with one of these shoulder harnesses that you can put over the shoulder. She comes with two pouches, which are actually on her. There's little plugs on the waist belt, and when you do have the harnesses on them, you have little plugs on the harnesses as well for those pouches, if you because you won't be able to use them with the harness on. So they did think about that, which is quite nice. Now, I will say I did have one issue with this. It's very similar to the issue I had with the original set, which is her shoulder up here was trapped. It wouldn't move, and when I pressured it, her torso split in half. Now, I was able to re-glue the torso back together. You might be able to see the glue seam on here, not so much on this side. I used plastic weld to glue it back together. But the idea is they're supposed to have like a butterfly joint in the shoulder, and it got stuck, and for some reason it wouldn't move, so I had to kind of force it, and it kind of just popped the torso apart. It didn't break any of the pegs on it because there's a couple of pegs that hold it together, so I was able to glue it back together, but it was quite annoying for a $30 figure or €30 figure. Now, articulation wise, they have a ball joint on the head. The heads pop off for the alternate head to go on. So for the female character, you have an alternate head with a long ponytail. The ponytail is also on a piece on an articulation point, so you can move it out of the way, which is quite nicely. The arms are on ball swivels, or on ball joints. There's an upper bicep swivel. There's a double elbow bend, elbow bend, and then, as I said, the fists or the hands are on a swivel with a peg, and you can swap the hands out because they're intended to. She will hold weaponry quite nicely in those hands. That's one of the other things to be wary of. The belt pieces are soft rubber, so when you do have the pouches in, they will have a tendency to pop off. They're just on a peg system, so they do peg in, but if you're moving it around, they could pop off. Legs can do splits that much, kick forward that much. They all have the same articulation, so I'll just go through articulation on one of these figures. So you have a swivel at the thigh, double knee bends. You get great range of articulation at the foot and ankle. There's actually a ball joint. It's a fairly visible ball joint, so you can see how it moves. There's a front toe boot cut. What's also cool about these is they actually have detailed treads on their feet. Now, they don't have peg holes, which is a bit of a shame, so if you had anything that stands for them, you can't really put that into them and plug them onto it. They have a double jointed neck. They actually have a joint at the base of the neck and the base of the head. And what's cool about these, and they did it the same with the Zeon figures, we just rest her here for a second. You have the helmeted head, but it is intended that you can pop that off. You have a big ugly looking peg, but it's intended so that you can have them holding their helmet and having the full head sculpt or hair sculpt, which is quite nice. And you have that for all the male figures. One thing I want to point out is that on this set, all the characters look like they're intended to be the same character. whereas this is one of the Zeon soldiers. And the Zeon soldier for the portly guy actually had a completely different head sculpt. He had a bearded head, or he had a clean shaven head, and there was no kind of, it looked like there was two different characters, whereas with this set they're a bit more consistent. It looks like everyone's the same character that they're intended to be, with the helmet on and helmet off. Here's one of the male characters. As you can see, he has the kind of more open hand. He has that strap across the chest. The way you just add that on is kind of pop the head off, raise up the arm, and slide it on and off. They are intended to be only one way, as far as I can see. There's none of them, like, you could probably put two on. It'd look a bit ridiculous, but the pouches kind of tend to go one direction on them. So you do have that. Again, he has a helmeted head and an unhelmeted head. But as you can see, it's supposed to be the same character. And his accessories, he has some of the coolest accessories. Just move his stuff out of, or the stuff out of the way. He comes with these food cans. Now these have stickers that you have to apply. They're quite small, so be careful when applying them. You can see some of mine are kind of peeling off as well. I'm not sure if I did them right, but it has these MRE food cans. So I think one's supposed to be dinner. It's like ESFF field rations is what they are. So you have one with a spoon in it, which looks like beans. And there's one that's open with the lid kind of folded back. And then there's one that's unopened. And then you have what looks like a, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's a food paste type thing. Or a drink. I'm assuming some sort of space drink or something along those lines. And then he also comes with this really sweet bazooka. You see it has the kind of a guidance thing on it. It's quite nicely sculpted. And for that, he also has this red shell, which I'm assuming is supposed to be the shell for the bazooka. Now, it doesn't fit into it, but it's there to show, like, you could do a pose, because they're so posable, you could do it that he's reloading, which is quite nice. One of the other things that the female one comes with, which I kind of glossed over, is this cool fire, kind of dumpster fire, or kind of supposed to be a campfire. It's made out of a bent, broken kind of container. As you can see, it's very nicely detailed with the, it doesn't look the same dents on every side. It's just, it's very nicely done. And then it's translucent orange piece in the center of it. Now that is glued in, it doesn't come out. You could force it out if you wanted to, but there's no real reason to do so. And the extra piece that the thin guy comes with, the kind of slimmer of the two male characters, comes with this cool poncho piece. And as you saw earlier, it was over his shoulders. You can just pop it over the shoulders for a kind of a, I think it's supposed to be like a red weather poncho. So it is a shame they don't all come with one, but each kind of character has their own individual kind of unique items. Again, he comes with the pistol and the standard rifle, as well as the bazooka. And he comes with the big pile of hands and for swapping out. And onto the last guy, who has his backpack on him. He comes with this backpack. Now, in order to put the backpack on and off, and it's the same with the harnesses, you have to pop the arms off at the ball joint. So just be careful when doing so. They are intended to pop off at the ball joint. So they're kind of modular in that sense. But so you can do it on the screen. Yeah, so they're supposed to pop off like that, and then you pop them back on. Now, I won't do it for the arms just to take off. You can see he's holding his rifle. I think these are supposed to be like beam rifles, like small scale beam rifles. I don't think, I'm not sure if they're supposed to be machine guns. They could be machine guns. They do have a scope on them, which is kind of nice. They're nicely detailed. He does have an alternate unhelmeted head sculpt as well, which is quite nicely done. It has a two-tone hairstyle to it, which is kind of nice. And he comes with some cool accessories as well. So he comes with this, I think it's supposed to be an RPG or some sort of mortar or something along these lines. It looks, I've been trying to figure out which way it's supposed to go. Like, this is supposed to be for it, but I don't know if it's supposed to launch out that way, or this is supposed to be the cap and the cap comes off and he launches it. I'm not too sure. I'm sure someone in the comments might be, hopefully if there's a Gundam fan who watches this review, might be able to explain to me what this is. I don't remember seeing them using this in the series, but then again, it's been a while since I've watched the original Gundam series. And the other accessory comes with, which is pretty cool. Now again, stickers have to be applied to this. You get these 2 magazines. So you get this blue one. There's color corresponding stickers, which it just says magazine on it. So there's only 2 stickers for this one, but there is 4 stickers for the next one. So you got this, what's it called? Colony Girl, which is supposed to be basically I think their space version of the Playboy magazine, because you can see it's sort of pin-up, still artwork and photography and stuff on the inside of it. These again are stickers that you have to apply. The books are blank when you get them in the box, and you have to apply the stickers to them. So just be careful when applying them that you don't rub off the glue for the stickiness, so that like they start peeling off. So for the stickers on mine seem to be okay, but overall it's quite good. And as I said, they do all come with the same small pouch and small pistol holster. And again, they just plug into the waist pieces, and they all have the same articulation. So I think I'll leave it there. But actually, just before I go, the one cool thing about the Zeon set is that you kind of got this build and connect heavy machine gun. Now you don't have anything like that with the Federation set per se. I think the intention is that the books, the MREs, and the kind of campfire and the shell are all supposed to simulate kind of like a rest environment, so you do kind of get environmental kind of combined environmental set up for for the best way of describing it. So there is that, and I will just bring in my tape measure because I just realized I didn't measure them for people in case they want to see how tall these are. So they stand in and around the 4-inch mark. And for a quick size comparison, because it is incredibly hot here at the moment and I'm trying to do this without passing out, here is 50th, is it 50th anniversary Destro? I think it is. Just move him off the side, and here's one of the mercenaries from the from the Jurassic World line. Just put this guy in between them so you can see the height. So there is a bit of scale with the G.I. Joes. The G.I. Joes tend to be a little bit taller anyway, so you have that. Right, if I just bring in one of the older movie G.I. Joes, you can see he actually is around the same height. Destro just tends to be a tall figure. So you do have a fairly good standard kind of scaling between lines. So if you are intending to do crossover photography and stuff like that, like I kind of do from time to time, it is worth noting that you can do that. So for example, if you wanted to do crossovers with Joy Toy stuff, you could. Now the only thing I haven't tried is to try one of the Joy Toy heads or the Hiya Toys figures heads or any of the other kind of more realistic looking head sculpts on these guys to see if it looks better. You could possibly, I'd say with the neck peg, it is a very small peg, as you've seen in the video. It is quite a small peg, so it is possible that it might be too small for the most kind of standard kind of figures, but I'm sure people out there could modify a neck peg to accommodate the kind of more realistic looking head sculpts that you get with stuff like Joy Toys. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review for the G.M.G. There's a Gundam, where is it called? Gundam Military Generation soldier set. And if I do pick up the 3 box set with extra alternative heads, I might do a review of that as well. So cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.